I think like the space we live in really condition our behavior. If you use the space in a different way, you live differently, you know? It's just, I think like the space we live in is the way we live in. People really use the space not the way it's meant to be used, you know? And this is, I think, is a strong statement, like it's unconscious, but it's a strong statement.
Welcome to EM CONVERSA, a podcast of the curatorial art and research collective MICHELE. Today's episode is part of the Play the Ground conversations, where we try to dive deeper into the experiences of the artists who took part in our 2024 summer residency program. In episode 2, we are speaking with Michele Turbanti about the political realm of infrastructure, how architecture imposes itself on its inhabitants, and how it can be reappropriated. So, have fun as we dive deeper into the connections of communal experiences and city planning.
Well, I'm Michele, and I'm from Italy, and I studied architecture in university, and I started working as an architect in Italy. And I don't know, I started taking pictures with my camera like during university, so I started studying by myself photography as well, along as my architecture studies. And then it became more than a passion, and now I'm trying to mix the two things together to make my own projects, as long as I'm still working as an architect, but I like to explore like many different ways to tell stories and to explore like mainly the urban environment and something. It's about that.
Okay, interesting. So, if I understand it correctly, you're living in Turin right now.
Yeah,
so
now I live in Turin.
How did you find out about the residency and why did you apply for it?
I find out, my girlfriend is a curator, so we always like looking for open calls and stuff like this, and actually this one she sent it to me, and for the research I'm doing right now about urban space, I immediately thought that it was perfect for my research at this time, and that's it. So I applied because I think it was really interesting for my research.
Yeah. So you're here in Zambujal now, like a neighborhood kind of outside of Lisbon or on the outskirts. What have you noticed so far in the infrastructure and in the way the neighborhood is built that interests you?
Well, the most interesting thing is like also talking to people, like is the urban disposition of the area, because it was built in the late 70s. And as a social neighborhood, it has like a really interesting landscape, because there is it's not really closed in itself, but has a lot of open spaces, and I think it's really well structured from the urbanistic point of view. And the residents I speak to, they are aware of that, you know. And also there is, like, the buildings are maximum like 3-4 stories, and so I think it's really interesting, like how to. I never seen anything quite like this in my career, in my life, because it allows like a lot of outside life mainly, and it allows also like socialization between the people that live in here.
Okay, that's interesting, because when you applied, you also said that oftentimes urban landscapes are like imposed on the residents. So would you say that here the the planning of the neighborhood was like actually good and different from like even a point of like above of the thing that was imposed on them is able to create social engagement?
Yeah, I think so, because it was built in a time where, as I understand, in Lisbon they were making like really, they were like trying to make social neighborhoods, but with some thought in it, and I think like it's yeah, this one is like it's always like from up to down, but it was built like in a way that you can I don't know, the fact that there is a lot of open space and a lot of also it's the thing that is not flat, you know, the ground is not flat but is on hill. It's also interesting because it allows like the people that live in to use it in different kind of ways, and so the thing that I like about this neighborhood is like the fact that all this open space allows the people to work on it, to use it in different ways, you know, like and also like the main road, Rua de Maixagua, is a really interesting thing like to find in a social neighborhood, because it's a walking road, a very big walking road that and is the center of the neighborhood, because there are no cars and kids and are allowed to play in it, and everyone uses it his own ways, you know. Like during summer there are all the swimming pool aside and barbecues, and people really use the outside space because the houses don't have outside space in them. They don't have balconies and stuff like this, so the people are like really going down the street to live it. So I think this is really interesting.
Okay, maybe also for the people listening right now, they probably oftentimes don't know what Zambujal is, what kind of neighborhood. Maybe you can explain what you have found out, what kind of people live here, like what are the needs of the community?
Yeah, basically there are a lot of it's a social neighborhood, so it's strange to see like because it's in the middle of Afragit, that is the municipio, and it's really strange to see like this place in a quite rich zone of the Lisbon metropolitan area. So like you cross the street and you see like really nice houses and really nice gardens, and this is really strange. But the cool thing about this place is that there are a lot of different communities, and the fact that a lot of associations are here, like to work with communities, is also really important and keeps the neighborhood alive. And it's still like communities like work together, but I think they're like still a bit on their own, like in many things, but that is normal, I think. And like there are a lot of people from Cape Verde and a lot of Romani people and people from all over Africa, and also Portuguese people. And but the thing is nice is like every culture like maintain their roots, you know. So like I also for the food mainly, like, you know. They bring their own dishes from Cape Verde and a lot of stuff that is really nice, and it's kind of really interesting and beautiful to see like every different kind of community here. Like they live together, but they all still remain with their culture, you know, and it's really nice, I think, to observe it and to live it like. because I don't know, I was coming to Portugal, so I think maybe I will learn Portuguese culture, but I learn Cape Verdean culture, Romani culture, and I think it's really interesting. And I think this not happens not often, you know. It happens like in neighborhoods like this because they are. Of course, there are a lot of problems, like the houses need maintenance, and also the outside space is quite not very maintained, and this is strange because like you cross the street and everything is nice, so this is really something to look forward to make this place a little bit better, but yeah, I think this is maybe.
Yeah. Also, that brings me to the question, what also your expectations were before coming here, because you said you wanted also to learn about the Portuguese culture and you learned something else. So how did these expectations that you may had at the beginning for your residency then like clash with the reality that when you came here?
Yeah, I was expecting like I really didn't have very different expectations because I didn't know what I didn't know the Zambujal before I came here. So, but yeah, I'm saying like I'm going to Lisbon, but this is like another place, you know. So the really interesting thing about this is like going in a little place in Cape Verde and. Because like also like there is a couple living on the other side of the street, and they made me cachupa one day, so I tried the Cape Verdean. But the interesting thing is like that, like they were born there, they are not born in Portugal, a lot of people, so they really bring that to here. So the thing is that it's also, like, I don't know how to speak Portuguese properly, so I learned like to understand it like in these 3 weeks. Now I understand it a lot better, but it was difficult to and that I was expecting. The main difficulty is to like find a way to speak to people, to collaborate with people, and stuff like this, but like they are really welcoming, you know, because they are a welcoming culture, and also Beto helped me a lot, like bringing me around, meeting people, and so I think after all it was a really nice experience because it was a new experience for me. I was expecting a new experience, but I didn't expect like a really, really new experience because I never worked like I've been in different places in the world, but I've never worked properly there. So it was really interesting to work in a place that doesn't seem really European, and so this was really challenging, but I'm really happy to have made this experience.
So we just had a short interruption. Some people came to take some chairs out for a party, I think, that they will have later. And now we continue and see what happens. So maybe we should come to your project that you developed here while during your residency. So maybe you can just tell us how you started, or how also maybe your plan was from the beginning and what you did in the first steps.
Well, from the beginning, I didn't plan a lot because, like, as I didn't know the place where I was going to be, I really didn't plan a lot. And so when I came here, the first thing I decided to do is just to know as many people as I could, and go around and like just explore the space and the people. And then I decided to start like with a map of the barrio, and ask people like to I put the map like outside the association, like on the wall outside, so that people could come and point in the map and write their name where they feel like there is a place that they like to be in the barrio, or it's a place that means something to them. It's like up to them to interact with the map and decide what to do with it. And I think I will leave it there, even when I go back to Italy, so that if people come and Beto speak to them, and they can still complete the map. And also, while they put across and assign the map, I also asked them to record something they wanted to say about the neighborhood. And a lot of people were really shy, but I think came up some interesting things. And so I think I would and after that I started going around the neighborhood with my camera and just taking pictures of I started from the places they signed on the map and they told me about, and then I started just to take some pictures of also my experience in the neighborhood. So it was interesting, going around and taking pictures of people's favorite places, but also I started to shoot my favorite places, something that has memory from these 3 weeks, and so I think it will be a mix of people from the neighborhood and my perspective of the space of the neighborhood. And then with the audio, I think I will make some montage of the audio. And also there was one night a guy that lives in this building came down with the guitar and played us some Cape Verdean music. So it's a lot of different things, and the main thing was to explore the space of the neighborhood with the people, and to try to involve the people in this process. And so it was all very experimental, but I'm very happy because it was a really new experience for me, to do something like this in a place that I don't belong to, and I'm here only for 3 weeks, so it was really interesting. And I also work with the kids, the cooperative, and we also made a little project there with them. We went around the neighborhood with them, and they shoot with the cameras all around. And then I printed the map, and the next time I went back there, they put all the photos on the map and then glue it on the map. And so now they have this map with all the photos they took around the neighborhood. And yeah, so the main thing was explore a space where I'm not familiar with, and to do it, so I wanted to do with guided by the people that lives in it. And I think it was really nice doing this thing. And also I'm planning to come back in some time and develop another part of the project that I think I'm studying some ways to use garbage material to build simple stuff like chairs, pools, stairs, tables, and stuff that you've seen it now. People do stuff all the time, and they need a lot of chairs, tables, and stuff like this. And I'm trying to design some furniture and simple architectural elements with in the simplest way, and in a way that you can use the same material to build one day one thing, one day another thing. And but of course I need some more time than 3 weeks to make this. And but I think I intend to continue it and then maybe come back here and do a part 2 of my experience in the neighborhood.
Yeah. You've already gone into some specific things of your project, but on a foundational level, how were you able to get to know people? How were you able to get into all of those interactions?
Well, the main thing was the associations. So also because of the language barrier, and here people don't really speak English, and I don't really speak Portuguese. I'm trying to learn, but it's really difficult. Here Beto helped me a lot, like meeting a lot of people, because he lived here for I don't know, more than 30 years, I think, so he knows everybody, and here everybody know each other. And so he brought me around all the time, and we speak to a lot of people. We went to people's homes, and once you are known, it's really, really nice, because they are a lot welcoming, and like to play, like the kids like to play a lot, and also like with the Cesis, I got to know all the kids. We went to the beach one time together, and so yeah, it's like about you. I think it's nice to have an entrance on the neighborhood, because like to come here without speaking the language and being alone, it would be really, really hard to do a project with people. But the fact that there are a lot of associations, and and also the people from associations are really interested in see how you can bring a different work to the neighborhood, and me and Beto were a team. We basically work together. Like, this project is as mine as it's him. So yeah, I'm very grateful for that, and yeah, I think it's really important to have some connection of this kind, because if you come here and you don't know the place and you don't know the language, and you just work on your own basically. But like this, you can know the people, and what I didn't want to do is impose my kind of work on the neighborhood. So it was nice to have someone that helped me understand, and then helped me meet people that led me to. Basically, it's a collective work, it's not, and that's what I want, the way I like to work, not just doing my own thing, but explore space and my research with the people.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah. Also with the way I understand your work as you being interested in architecture and how it can lead or help the needs of the community. Of course, you first need to know the needs, so it doesn't make sense to just go there with your artistic and architectural knowledge and just impose it. Maybe in general, also going back to your backgrounds, you have your studies of architecture, photography, and how did you manage to involve those different tools into your artistic practice?
Well, basically, I see everything practical as a tool. So in my practice, I like to do a lot of research. So before even starting to do something in the project, I just do a lot of research, and in this case, it was research on the field, but sometimes also theoretical research, and then it's I try to plan a little bit how to use these different tools to make the project happen, but also this time I just started with the map and speaking to the people, and then I decided to make photographs 2 days ago, so maybe I was making a video, so it's the tool is not that important for me. It's just I don't know, I think it's instinctive when I'm working at it, so I just see where the project goes, since it's not something I make in the studio or something I plan for the beginning on, because if you work bringing in the project different people, you don't have. I like not to have the control over the thing, So I don't know where it's going until the end, and then I decide at the end what to do, how to present. I use the tools maybe to present the work when it's going, and so basically I think it's this.
So you said I think it's a very good approach that you have, that you go there and you let the people kind of lead you to your final work that you will be doing. So do you think like it was enough time, these 3 weeks in the neighborhood for your research and for everything that, or did you expect some more to come out of it? Because you also said you wanted to continue it, so maybe you think also like you should have stayed longer maybe, or maybe you also need some time to process it and to organize everything that you found out and then go deeper into some more work you can do here.
Yeah, 3 weeks I think it seems like before I came here it seemed like enough time to make something, but when you're here like the first week and a half, I was just like going around, and I was even thinking about the project, but not right in the practice, So I think if you can stay more, like the more the time you stay, the deeper you can go, because like 3 weeks you can know some people, you don't know everybody, and but I think it's just a start. Like now I know that I want to do something more, like of what I did in these 3 weeks. So I think I'll find a way to come back and do that. But it depends on what you do. I think if 3 weeks can be enough to arrive at a certain step. And if you want to go maybe further, you can stay a little bit more. But I think the more you stay, the better you get to know the people, the better you get to understand really the neighborhood and the people you work with, and so maybe I would, if I could, I would stay like 3 months maybe. You can make really something really good. And also like if you speak Portuguese fluently, like maybe 3 weeks is a good amount of time. But also I think to get to know the people and all this stuff, I think a little more time is useful. But you can make, like if you have help like I had here. You can make stuff happen also in this short amount of time.
So how did you, like you said, you did a lot of research also about the neighborhood, but did you also consider or did you also research more about the topic that is informality as resistance, or what is your thought on that topic? In like, if you think about the neighborhood and about the topic, what are your thoughts, or what are your scenes that you saw that you can relate to this?
Yeah, my recent research, it's all about like informality. So I already did a lot of research before as well, and I think like informality and like is a kind of way that people have to cope with different things that this world bring to us, like this is a difficult topic, so I have to think about what I'm saying. And it's like right now I think the urban space and with globalization, urban space is becoming more and more similar, like also mainly in the capitals, but also like in the smaller towns everywhere. it's there is this tendency to uniformity, and I think that more difficult situations like this and can be a form of resistance, because like people really use the space not the way it's meant to be used, and this is, I think, is a strong statement, like it's unconscious, but it's a strong statement against this process of globalization and gentrification the city are going against, and so yeah, mainly is this thing, I think, because it's like the exact opposite of gentrification, like informality. So to me, and so it's a really strong way to resist to that process.
So for you, it's also mostly informality in a architectural and infrastructural sense, like what you're looking at?
Yeah, because I think like the space we live in really condition our behavior, and like if you use the space in a different way, you live differently, it's just I think like the space we live in is the way we live in, one of the parts of the way we live, and it changes everything, like just living in the city and have a big balcony for yourself and making a barbecue there with 10 friends is really different from don't having a balcony, go in the streets, make a barbecue, and whoever comes, like it's going to. This is like just a simple example, but I think there's a really big difference in how you use the space and how you live.
I think it's also interesting for me, as I'm a member of like Maisuno, and I'm mostly accompanying artists in Talude and Quinta da Fonte, and there you can really see the difference of like having a planned infrastructure, and especially in Talude it's more like a self-built neighborhood, and you really see how the way things are built on one side is like imposed on the people, and then they also find their way in terms of informality and using spaces differently. And in Talude, for example, it's more like in the beginning, like from the very foundation, things are built to the needs of the people because they are building them themselves. So it's interesting that maybe for you this here is also like a mix. You have this architecture that was planned and that is imposed on the people, and then you see how these spaces of informality can like grow inside of the infrastructure.
Yeah, of course, because like I think it's a lot of about like what is lacking, in a place, and where there are in social neighborhoods there are always something lacking. So I think that the way that people cope with that is the main thing of resistance against gentrification. So like for example, this neighborhood is really well built, but you can build everything like really good, but then if there is no manutention, no infrastructures, and the people like find a way to make it happen, and that's I think to go back with one of the first questions you made me, like what I was expecting was like I was like okay, this is really like I knew about the call like Talude and Quinta da Fonte were like self-built neighborhood. This was not, and so I was like, oh, maybe it will be difficult to work with it, but even if there is nothing properly built by people, but like the way they use space is just informal as building something, because like architecture is like also how you use space. You know, you don't need like to build anything to make architecture up, and just you need like a wall and a ball, and then you have like a soccer field. You know, it's just like this. So the interesting thing here is that everything is already built, but the receding spaces are used in really different ways, and that is architecture for me.
Do you think there's a lot of potential here for this kind of activities for the people, that they have like also this big outside spaces where they can gather, of course, and do the barbecues, which will not be possible in the city of Lisbon anywhere. The police will come immediately, if it's not like Santos or something. So, but here, like, they put swimming pools in every corner, they play football, the kids are outside all the time, and they don't have to worry maybe like in the main street about the cars, or even also on the other side, the gardens they just built next to the highway, on the slopes of the highway, which is also kind of informal too, that they just wanted to have a garden and then they just made it there. So I think also this space, I don't know how you think about it, has a lot of potential for people to do things. Do you think they see this also, or they of course they use it because of the need, but also of kind of, it's like a kind of this third space that you have, like not just the private and work space, but you have like this communal space that is lacking in many cities, that we don't have like a space to meet, a space to do certain things that we want in our free time. So
well, I think a lot of it is just I don't know, you're used to it, to have this space, and then and there's like a need to use it, you know. So I think a lot is really unconscious about the use of the space. But like talking with people, like someone really spoke about like the way the neighborhood is built, and the way that there is a lot of open space, and people are really aware that like the main road where there are no cars is really, really important for them. So I think it's a mixture of the two things, you know. Mainly is unconscious, and it's just need. Like I don't have a balcony, I don't have a space. Like my houses, these houses aren't really bad because they are quite big for social houses. But you know, there are not really, like, paint is not good anymore, and there are a lot of really practical problems in the houses. But just like the need to go outside, and like for kids to stay with their friends, for like we see now, they're making a big they're making a stage with a lot of people coming to a religious event, and music. It's just natural. Like, I think when you have the space and you have the need to use the space, to go there and use it. And but there is also some, like, once you use it, you obviously think about why you're using it, no? So I think a lot of people like spoke to me about the main road that is pedestrian, and they said me like, this is nice because there are no cars, there are the cafes where I can meet with my friends and go play cards, and there are people, and also like for the parents, like they just need to see outside the window to check their kids, and so there is some knowledge about outside space also. I think it starts with like unconscious need, and then but then people really start to recognize the importance of that, and so that's why also I think it's possible to work like with people here on space because they recognize they use it. Of course, there are a lot of people that told me about like yes, but we can do all these funny things and interesting things, but we have problems in our houses, and there that's natural, you know. And but yeah, I think a lot of people are really. Also, I think a really good thing for the neighborhood are the wall paintings, because it's a really I don't know. It's a really impact way, like to just see like okay, we need to clean the parks, but also like to approach the art is like and how art can be used for the neighborhood. I think that is a really impactful way to start. So a lot of people, like when I speak to them and me and Beto talk them about, yeah, we are doing a project with the neighborhood, and they were, no, wall paintings, yeah. So like I think it's a really good way, and it was Zambujal 360, like the project they did, and they are still doing because they have to finish yet. But it's a really good way to introduce, you know, a neighborhood that is not really used to this kind of stuff, or well, there are a lot of like cultural activities, like a lot of young boys, like also with music. It's really alive, but like for the most people, you know, like having this first approach is I think is very useful, because and then you find out about other stuff, but you just know that that this can be good for the neighborhood and good for them, like to explore the potential of the neighborhood a little bit more, you know, because an external eye maybe can make you notice something that you are used to see, you know, and you give it for granted, and so I think it's really possible to work with the people here, and yeah.
Well, as you're going back to Turin tomorrow, what are things that you are taking with you, like in your personal life, but also in your artistic practice?
Well, the main thing is as I was saying before, like this was like my first experience in a place that I really don't know, and I'm there for just a few months of time, and I don't know the language, and so the challenge of this for me is like the main thing that I bring with me, because like to be able to work with a place I don't know, and people with language I don't speak, it was the main challenge for me, and also like just a lot of people I met that were really kind. They like there the Juvenal and his wife. I went to their home a lot of times, and now I gave him my messenger, so I will show him Turin when I go back. So I'll bring a lot of different things, you know, and with my work mainly, the fact that to learn to work like in a place that you're not used to, and in a place that you don't know, and with people you don't know, and you have to know them in a short period of time, and also like see a place that is really different from the places you're used to be in, and see how people use space here, and yeah, these mainly things, yeah.
Okay, maybe we're slowly coming to an end. Is there anything else that you would like to maybe tell to other artists or people thinking about doing a residency here that might help them?
Yeah, the thing I think is like It depends on the time. If you don't have a long time, make it simple, because I think simple is the best way to go. Because if you work in places that are not used to see art, to work with art, and you want to work with people, just to make it simple, it can be a lot more effective and a lot easier to work with. And yeah, I think it's like be open to not have like an idea from the start to the end, because working with different communities is like let you guide by the community to what you're going to do. So have an idea, but don't have the final idea. Just start working and see where it leads you, because I think it's really like an enriching experience to just be led by the people to some kind of direction in your work.
Okay, so thank you, Michele, for this interview. It was very nice, and so we hope to see you again here, hopefully, and
I hope so.
Yeah, see what you come up to for the people here, and maybe you can visit again, and we see the.
Yes, we'll come back for sure, yeah. And I will make my part 2 of my project here.
That's very nice.
That's for sure. And I also told Juvenal I was coming back, so I have to now.
Yeah, you have to. Okay.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.